Hello everyone, thank you for joining Chess Geek. Today we'll be going over the Scandinavian Defense, one of the best and most popular defenses against e4. So let's jump right into the video. Like I said, this is against e4, and the Scandinavian Defense is when you play d5. Now white has three main options, and we'll cover each one in this video. First, we'll cover the variation that white pushes the pawn forward to e5. White would do this to try to get more space in black's territory and hope of pushing this pawn out here and now having a pawn chain in black's territory. Against this, you simply and very calmly play c5, now grabbing a lot of space yourself in this where white usually wants to develop, which will help you later on in the game. And this position, it's not great for white because white probably want to save this pawn and play, for example, this, and you can simply play this, and it's just going to be normal developments. You're going to push out your bishop here before pushing this pawn here, which is going to be your next move. Let's say bishop here. You're going to push this pawn here, now enabling this diagonal. And you can see that although white has two pawns that are slightly pushing towards black's center, black any moment will be able to play this, now having a really strong position and this queen ready to capture. And when black plays this move here, black is much better in this position because black has a lot more development and a lot more pieces in the center controlling the territory. Now, because of this, white usually won't play this line. And white would decide, instead of pushing the pawn forward, to either capture or play the second thing that I'm going to talk about, which is knight to c3. This, number one, attacks this pawn here, and number two, supports this pawn here. And for this, you're going to capture this pawn here. This is the best move, because after knight captures, you can first of all play a move like this and kick the knight out, but simply, I would just play this move and try to grab as much territory for yourself. This knight won't stay here long because it doesn't serve a purpose right now, so eventually, this knight will have to be kicked out somewhere, not there, but somewhere, and it won't be very great for white. Additionally, white's only pawn is opposite from you right now, and so white cannot play this because then you could capture, as you are supporting the spot here, and so white would have to play this, and so from the get-go, you already have a lot more space in the center, with ideas of pushing both bishops that are enabled out, and castling either side, depending on which side feels more safe at the time that you want to castle. And I can't really continue this variation, because realistically, you just have so many choices. You could push out this knight, and now get your queen into the game. You could push out and start developing some other pieces, and it's just a really good position for black. Because of this, the most common move that white plays is neither this nor this, and it's just capturing on this position right here. And this, it is the best move because it's an even trade. If white grabs with the queen, you can see that it's an even position, and no player is better off. And I wouldn't suggest grabbing with the queen. I would suggest playing this knight here. Now let me explain to you why I prefer this move instead of capturing with the queen. If you capture with the queen, white is going to play this move. And now this loses tempo for black. Because if black moves anywhere, for example here, which is most common, it's going to be hard for black to do any developments. By moving the queen out really early in the game, it's not a great position for black because none of the pieces or minor pieces have been pushed out, and just the queen in the start isn't going to do you a whole lot, especially when white already has ideas of pushing this pawn out next move and bringing out some other minor pieces into the attack. You can see that this definitely is going to be more one-sided towards white. And quickly, when white goes here to challenge your queen in the center, you can try to move here in a check, but you can block with the bishop. And now, again, I mean, you're going to have to move your queen if you want to push this pawn eventually. So it's just going to waste the move for you and help white develop and get his bishop out there ready to castle kingside. For this reason, after you challenge the pawn in the center and the pawn captures, I would prefer playing this move. And this move is better, because if black does nothing, for example, plays this pointless move here, you can capture, and now instead of having a queen in the center, you have a knight in the center. So no longer can you lose tempo by a move, for example, like this. In fact, you could also capture, or you could just play more developing moves. And although eventually maybe your queen will get to the center, it'll get you more turns to develop. So as you see, I already developed another piece in that time. And that's the main idea with doing this knight. You're trying to improve your position faster and more steadily than white does. And so if white tries to protect this with a knight, you can go ahead and capture the pawn, and this will lead to a similar position, only now this queen here, it's a lot more safe, and there's nothing challenging it. So realistically, this queen here could be a great help for you in the future. If white tries to take this bishop out, you have this move here, so white cannot capture, or white cannot take this bishop out, and so you have developments on the way, with a lot of developments actually. And white's not doing too much. In fact, you're the only one controlling the center at the moment. So this is the main idea and the main point. And when you challenge this pawn here, expect this and then play this. And white can try to play this move to not lose the pawn in the center here. And you can't capture because even though you have two attackers, it's obviously not worth it. Although there have been a few games of master players playing this line or capturing and trading off a pawn, I just really don't like it. I don't see a great point for it, which is why I play this move and challenge the only pawn in the center. And as opposed to last time where the pawn was here and black was here and white could move forward, now white cannot move forward. So white probably will have to take, and then you can capture with the knight and boost your developments, and then you have this idea in mind, and it's a really happy game for you. Especially once you play this. So if white plays, I don't know, this, or not that, but for example, if white were to play this here, and once you play this, now both of your diagonals have been enabled for your bishop, and you're going to castle very soon. So it's just a wonderful position for you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.